Shut up and sit down.
Townsville, colloquially known as the capital of northern Queensland, and with a population of nearly 3 times that of Mackay and Rockhampton, I can understand why people would say that. It's Queensland's 4th largest city, with a diverse economy supporting 2 major universities and several defence facilities for the Australian Army and Air Force. The majority of people here drive smaller vehicles, so gone are the fluoro-numbered 4x4s of Mackay. Townsville has a strong military history, with a sizable monument at Jessie Fort on Kissing Point, for both Americans and Australians who fought in the war. Also, in the Anzac Memorial Park, they have the North Queensland Garden of Remembrance, which is obviously being built for World War III in mind. Linking both sites is the Strand Park, which runs along the beach and has what otherwise would be a Miami-styled tourist strip, if only there were more people. Along the Strand is the main tourist stretch, with numbers of beachside cafes and restaurants, and around the corner is Flint Street, the closest thing to King's Cross around here. It's interesting to see that the massage parlours have thinned out since Brisbane. Nearly in the centre of town is Castle Hill, a 285 metre rock where most of the locals get their exercise by walking up each afternoon. It has a wonderful view of the entire area from all sides. I wasn't able to fly the drone around the hill as the airport puts nearly the entire town into a no drone zone. And the eastern side of the hill is graffiti with the James Cook University logo, which started in the 70s, and each time the council removed it, local students would restore it. Until now it's become a town landmark. Not quite the Sydney Harbour Bridge, but a worthy note of the frontier lifestyle of this place. Located a short ferry ride away from Townsville is Magnetic Island, which is a combination of a resort island and, with a $30-odd return ticket, a gated community. There's housing for the tourist workforce, and with very little other services, as there is not many other reasons to live on the island. About 76% of the island is national park, with the highest point about 500 metres, and supports a population of about 800 koalas, which is quite surprising considering how far north we are. With great views of the entire area, during World War II there was a couple of lookouts and gunning positions. There was also several walking trails on the island which I would have liked to have completed, but I had only given myself some 4 hours. In hindsight, I should have stayed overnight and given myself more time to fully experience the island. Getting to the island was a bit of a drama, as I didn't realise there was 2 competing ferry services and I was trying to get to the wrong one. In a strange town, Google had directed me down a closed road, and I found myself in the left-hand turning lane, but the alternative pathway on Google was to the right. So I found myself far too distracted to see the police van pull up to the lights on the left. Turning to the right before left, I had failed to see the red arrow, but the police hadn't failed to see me. So here's me getting pulled up by the Queensland Police. So boys and girls, remember it pays to be polite and respectful when dealing with police, and always respond with, "Yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full sir," as thankfully I was spared the fine. Stopping at Early Beach for lunch, which is a similar touristy strip as Noosa, but has a lot more boats to service the Whitsunday Passage. It has a lot of restaurants that double up as pubs after dark. It reminds me of that old Tom Cruise movie Cocktail, except it's a lot more commercial, and without a swimmable beach, it lacks the girls in bikinis. It looks to be that sort of place where people congregate to get drunk during their holidays, but if you wanted to pick up a woman of childbearing age, your only real choice are the waitresses. I was told to get myself a meat pie on my way through Bowen. Bowen is a very different styled town with very wide streets and many old Queenslander homesteads. It's this styling that likely attracted Baz Luhrmann to film his Australia movie here. The pie was not that spectacular and tasted like the recipe that 4 and 20 originally based their pies on. I much preferred the pies in Emerald. It is this unusually dry location in the tropics that is suitable for growing tomatoes, which provides a rare break in the sugarcane that started from Byron Bay. Staying in a traditional Queenslander run by another empty nester is full of Townsville charm. With wooden floorboards and wooden louvers, the hot water taps are on the right. The use of wooden floorboards as a kitchen benchtop is something I hadn't seen before, but matched the character of the place. I certainly came at the right time of year, where the nights were cold enough to sleep with a blanket and the days are warm enough for a t-shirt and short. Since I've nearly completed the first goal of this trip in getting to Cape York, and I'm doing it comfortably, I've now committed to the second leg, getting to Perth. Heading off the coast does have its challenges, as there is not much Airbnb between Cairns and Darwin. So I'm going to have to stay in a pub hotel, a backpacking hostel and a caravan park. I'm thinking this stretch of the trip will give me some new insights into how other people are doing the big lap, but I imagine it's going to be 3 weeks of one dust bowl after another. The leg out of the tropics from Darwin to the other side of the Pilbara is ridiculously expensive and long. The cheapest place I could find in Broome was a camper van at $70 a night, and the cheapest private room was going for $250 a night. Literally everyone who lives in Broome should be building the granny flat and renting it out. Also, the hops are blowing out to nearly 1,000 kilometres each, and with a 100 kilometre speed limit in WA, it's likely going to take nearly 12 hours each. Luckily, heading west, the amount of daylight should stretch out. The bike is getting hot up here. I don't know if it's the weather or the way I'm riding or the radiator needs cleaning. It's a litre bike that doesn't like going slow. The slow moving Queensland traffic is causing me problems. I've topped up the water, but if I can't get the temperature down, then I'm likely going to have to opt in for an oil change when I get to Darwin. Once I arrived in Townsville, I noticed a whole heap of ants were on the seat. My instincts were to kill the bugs and not to photograph them for you. I don't know if I picked up a queen who went splat on the luggage as I rode by, or with all the rains in Mackay they crawled up onto the bike. Since I'm now out of the rain, I really should put an effort into cleaning the bike. I don't know if I should buy a sponge and do it at the Airbnb, or try and find some professional car wash somewhere. Please comment your suggestions below. Again, I've had access to solid NBN and 4G while in Townsville. I'm at the stage where I'm thinking it's cheaper to throw the dish away and buy a new one once I get to the west coast. And while in between here and the Pilbara, if I'm unable to upload a 2GB video, then you might not hear from me until I can. I don't know how it's going to go, but that was the point of having the dish in the first place. Townsville is a large urban town with all the modern conveniences and is a great winter escape. I'm happy to finally have that summer that everyone down south has missed. The walkers here are back to blocking eye contact as they walk by. It seems to explain why so many of them like wearing those baseball caps, so they can simply drop their heads. I think someone should start selling caps with the words "Don't look pervert" written on the top of them. I guess it must have been all those polite rural people between the Townsville and Sunshine Coast that made all the difference. But I now feel like I'm back in the antisocial autism of Brisbane. Next stop is Cooktown with lunch in Marrabee, where I hope to pick up my new drone that has active track, so I should be able to give you guys some better shots of the road as I pass through the red centre. I still have more followers on Google Maps than I do YouTube, so please remember to hit that subscribe button because I'm starting to think that YouTube is rigged. Thanks for following my adventures around Australia, and remember to go out there and do something to enjoy your day.